What if I told you there's a single number that could completely change how you wake up in the morning? Seriously. Today, we're going to break down something called the 90-minute rule. It's this powerful little technique, totally backed by sleep science, that promises to help you wake up feeling genuinely refreshed, not just, awake. I'm sure this sounds familiar, right? You get your full 8 hours, you did everything right, but then that alarm rings and you feel like you've been hit by a truck. You're just so groggy, you smack that snooze button, and it takes, what, like a whole pot of coffee just to feel human? It's an incredibly common feeling, and honestly, it's so frustrating. So, what is actually going on here? Well, it turns out the real problem isn't how long you're sleeping. It's all about when your alarm decides to jolt you awake. The real key, the secret sauce, is aligning that alarm with your body's own natural sleep rhythm. And I'm telling you, understanding this one little insight, it changes everything. Okay, so to get to the solution, first we have to talk about something called the sleep cycle. You see, your brain doesn't just, switch off for 8 hours. Not at all. Instead, it goes through this very specific recurring pattern, and each pattern lasts about 90 minutes. Think of this cycle as the fundamental building block for a really good night's rest. And each one of these 90-minute cycles is kind of like a little journey. You start by just drifting off. Then you slip into a light sleep. From there, you go way down into that super restorative deep sleep. And that's the phase that is so hard to wake up from. Then you come back up into REM sleep, which is where most of your dreaming happens, right before the whole cycle wraps up and a new one starts all over again.
And this contrast right here, this explains everything. If your alarm violently yanks you out of the middle of a cycle, especially from that deep sleep stage, your brain is still just flooded with sleep chemicals. That's where that awful grogginess and brain fog comes from. But if you can time your alarm for the very end of a cycle, when you're naturally in a lighter stage of sleep, you wake up feeling alert, clear, and ready to go. Big difference, right?
So the solution here becomes pretty obvious, right? We need to stop fighting our body's own biology and start working with it. The whole goal, the entire game, is to time your alarm so it goes off between your sleep cycles, not smack in the middle of one. And that single strategic shift, that's the entire foundation of what we're calling the 90-minute rule. And here it is. It all comes down to this one single number, 90. 90 minutes, that's it. That's the magic number. It's the average length of one complete sleep cycle. Seriously, if you remember only one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this number, 90. It is the key to changing your mornings forever. Okay, so how do you put this into practice, like tonight? It's really just a simple 3-step process. First, just pick the time you need to wake up. Let's say it's 7 a.m. Step 2, count backward from 7 a.m. in 90-minute chunks. Now, most of us feel best after 5 or 6 of these cycles, which works out to 7.5 or 9 hours of sleep. And then step 3, whatever time you land on, bam, that's your new target bedtime. Simple as that. And hey, to make this even easier, we've got a little cheat sheet here that does all the math for you. So if you need to be up at 7 a.m., you should aim to be asleep by 11:30 p.m. to get 5 full cycles. Or if you want a bit more sleep, aim for 10 p.m. for a full 6 cycles. See? No more guesswork. It's just simple math that's totally aligned with your body. This really leads to a huge shift in how we think about rest, We're always so focused on the quantity, like, I gotta get my 8 hours. But the real goal isn't just more sleep, it's smarter sleep. It's all about the timing, the efficiency, and making sure the sleep you're getting is actually doing its job and restoring you. So just imagine for a second what this new morning could feel like. The alarm goes off, and you just open your eyes. You wake up. There's no struggle, no hitting snooze, no brain fog. You have mental clarity from the very first moment. And your alarm clock, it's not your enemy anymore. It's actually your ally, working perfectly in sync with your body. That's what this is all about. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. If you could start every single day feeling truly rested and clear-headed, what could you achieve? What would that change for you? Go on, give the 90-minute rule a try tonight. See what happens.